Hello, good evening, everyone. You're watching Paul Offshore TV. I'm Matt Paul. Um, as everybody knows, I hope there's COVID-19 going on. I'm putting on my 19 right now, and I'm joking and kidding. But my workspace, as I said in a previous video, my workspace is kind of cluttered and disorganized. So I got a nice clean cooler here to kind of use as my table for the time being. But with any further ado, we're going to get into this video on how to arm an inflatable life jacket. Now, this is not a paid promotion, and currently I'm not getting paid for any of my videos. There for a brief period of time I was trying to do an Amazon affiliates account, and that has since expired, so don't have anything going on. Hopefully, or nothing going on yet, but hopefully in the near future, maybe something will come up. Anywho, if you're a new subscriber, I appreciate the subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button below and shoot me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Thumbs up if I'm doing good, obviously, too. Get like. Anyways, titled at hand, we're going to arm and this is a West Marine inflatable life jacket. It's I guess what's called a class 5. There's several different classes. One of the things with it being a class 5, you gotta be wearing it to be considered by the Coast Guard. You have to be wearing it to be considered a active life jacket. So, say you got 7 people on your boat. You have, I guess what they call the class 1s, which are the ones around the neck, the yellow and orange ones that you see. Say you got 4 of those and 3 other people on the boat, but you got 3 of these inflatable ones. You're going to get a ticket because they don't count these as being under the cushion. The class 5s, or excuse me, under the deck. Class 5s, you got to be wearing it for them to count. So keep that in mind. I still got the directions on here, so we're going to pop these off. And I'm back. These things were behind me, but I got my split ring pliers. I got a little snip cutter on them, a braid cutter on them. So I'm just going to cut these little plastic packs. Here's your instruction. Kind of brief go through with the Coast Guard, what I mentioned beforehand. Here's your compressed air cylinder that is going to be armed in this thing. Alright, bring around here. The side with the pull tab or the jerk tab is where the arming mechanism is going to go. And this is Velcro, and you're going to pull all of this up. And it's got some different instructions there if you're overboard and can't remember to get it up, but it also helps you fold to get this thing in here. So if it does inflate on you, you can repack it. Let's see. Oh, I'm trying to take it off the wrong way. There you have your thread there that should match up with that male thread on your cylinder. Real quick, kind of getting on a sidebar here. I saw one of these jackets on Facebook Marketplace, and it was actually wasn't quite this one. It was actually like a 42 buoyancy inflatable that the guy was selling for $50, and he said, "Yeah, I had it in a ditch bag, but I never used the thing, so I'm gonna get rid of it." Well, it's like, well, the point of these things are to wear, not necessarily having a ditch bag. So, especially the class 5s. And what the good thing about the class 5s, and the whole reason why they came out, in my opinion, is to promote people to wear them, because the great big bulky ones, they get hot. These are relatively small when they're packaged up, but it's more promoting, so you will wear it. And if anything's going to happen, say you slip and fall overboard, well, if this thing's in a ditch bag in a console somewhere, what good is it going to do for you? While I was speaking, I pulled out this pamphlet that tells you where your indicator is, and one of the big thing is, let's see, it should be green indicator light, meaning it hadn't been used, or indicator clip. You check that to make sure it has not been punctured already. So if it's been punctured, it means it's been used. And it just tells you to put it in and fold, repack. You make sure the jerk to inflate handle is placed correctly. Outside cover, think safe, owner's manual. So that's a real brief, quick thing. You can read it in 2 seconds like I did. Anyways, this guy, one of the things you want to make sure that this clip green means good to go is in the right position. If it was down, it would let all the air escape. So we're going to put this in, and it's got a needle in there that's going to puncture that end right there. And what I was talking about a minute ago, you want to make sure that end is solid there, meaning it's not a spent cartridge. And these are a little bit different, but they do sell just the cartridge. Get down to the end, and it should off there. I think it's in there because it's down tight. Yeah, and I think part of what, when you inflate this thing, when you jerk it, what it does is shoot that needle up there to release the air, to get it where it is inflates the jacket. So it's technically that if I backed it out, it should not release any air until you pull the jerk lever. And you need to make sure that everything puts together. But it's pretty simple. Part of the reason why I'm doing this too is more to promote life jacket safety, on the water safety too. These things, especially the class 5s, I mean, they can't make them any easier to wear. I will say that on certain situations, now this one, I don't believe this. Yeah, this one is an auto and manual. So going back, this should be a little barometer. So once it gets so much water pressure on it that it's spring loaded, it's going to release a spring to inflate it on you. There's some fanny pack version of an inflatable where basically the whole vest is like your normal around the neck, but it comes out of a fanny pack and you kind of tie it up around you. That one, however, is manual. You actually have to pull cord, where this one's an auto. But I can see in certain situations that one is fairly concealed. Would be better, say like at a day at the beach where you don't necessarily want to be wearing this, so to speak. But if you had to go out for emergency, that I could see that being real advantageous to have from a safety standpoint. But on the water, while you're on the move, and these life jackets can save lives, and do save lives for that matter, because you never know when you're going to have that slip and hit your head. There's been, hasn't been anything lately, but we're still coming out of winter, but where someone has fallen overboard and hit their head, and they weren't wearing a life jacket, and they weren't found for a couple of days. So, and it became a recovery at that point in time. But if something were to happen, I mean, you would come up and you could get emergency care sooner. So with that being said, like I said, real quick video. With that being said, I hope everyone has a good time staying safe. And those of you that have subscribed and are a new subscriber, I'm pretty stoked. I really do appreciate that. And I'm very grateful for you guys hitting that button and following my channel. So with that, have a good night, and we'll catch you next time on Paul Offshore Fishing TV. Thank you.